The year 2022 served as yet another harbinger of how disaster-prone the Asia-Pacific area is globally. The major catastrophes of 2022 occurred in countries with various levels of development, ranging from floods in Afghanistan, Australia, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and Thailand to drought in China, Kiribati, and Tuvalu, typhoons Megi and Nalgae in the Philippines, heat waves in India, Japan, and Pakistan, and earthquakes in Afghanistan, Fiji, and Indonesia, with 74.4% of disaster events in the area and 88.4% of all fatalities worldwide attributed to floods. They were the deadliest natural disaster. Here are the 10 of the deadliest natural disasters that struck the world in 2022. Number 10. Afghanistan Floods. According to the United Nations and the Taliban government, at least 182 people have died and hundreds more have been injured in Afghanistan following a month of intense flooding brought on by seasonal rains. The sudden flooding caused more than 250 injuries, and more than 3,000 homes were either demolished or damaged, according to the Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid. Mujahid reported that at least 182 people had died. The period between August 2016 and August 2021 saw the highest death toll, with 63 individuals losing their lives to the flash floods. According to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, more than 8,200 families are affected across 13 provinces, with 30 more people reported missing. Number 9. Assam Floods. According to media sources, India experienced above-average rainfall during the June to September monsoon season, much like the previous year. At least 192 people were killed in landslides and flooding in the northeastern state of Assam, one of the worst affected regions. The river Brahmaputra has always altered its course and reclaimed farms and villages. However, in recent years, the frequency and intensity of the river's destruction have risen. According to reports, the districts that are impacted are Bayali, Baiswanath, Kakar, Kairang, Dimahasau, Golagat, Hailakandi, Kamrup, Moragron, Nagan, Sivasagar, and Tamalpa. According to reports, Moragron, which is home to almost 143,000 sick individuals, is the next worst hit district, with Kakar having nearly 356,000 sufferers. A total of 34,723 people were still struggling as a result of the flood. Over 7,368 hectares of cropland have been flooded, and about 390 settlements have been completely drowned, according to the report. Number 8. Brazil mudslide. The Brazilian town of Petrópolis saw severe flooding just 2 months into the year. At least 233 people died, according to reports in the media, as floodwaters and mudslides swept through the mountain village. More than 850 people were reported to have lost their homes or needed to flee. During Brazil's imperial period, Petrópolis served as the emperor's favored summer retreat. Since then, the city has been rebuilding after the devastation of the deluge. Number 7. Indonesia earthquake. On November 21, 2022, just before 1:30 p.m. local time, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake occurred in the mountainous Cianjur district on the west coast of Java Island, Indonesia. The epicenter of the earthquake was just about 6.2 miles below the surface. Recovery efforts were impeded by numerous aftershocks of differing strengths that were felt in the surrounding cities of Sukabumi and Bandung, as well as around 60 miles northwest of Cianjur. The tremor was felt as far away as Jakarta. After a few days, the search and rescue operations changed to search and recovery because some persons were buried in their homes and other buildings that either collapsed around them or were carried away in a landslide. At least 334 persons died, according to a press release from the National Disaster Mitigation Agency (BNPB). More than 2,000 people were hurt, and 8 people were still missing as of December 9. Number 6. Typhoon Megi in the Philippines. Due to its high risk, exposure, and vulnerability to disasters and calamities, the Philippines was named the most disaster-prone nation in the world by the World Risk Index 2022. 3 significant storms struck the world in 2022, with 2 of them occurring in the Philippines. 346 people died and $200 million was lost due to Typhoon Megi in April. 3.3 million people were affected by Typhoon Nalgae in October, which also cost $20 million in damages and lost agricultural production. Number 5. Flooding in South Africa is estimated to have killed 461 people. Over 40,000 people were affected by flooding and mudslides that occurred in Durban and the surrounding areas between April 8 and April 21, 2022, as a result of the slow-moving storm Issa, which delivered prolonged periods of heavy rain to KwaZulu-Natal. President Cyril Ramaphosa has proclaimed the area to be in a state of calamity, and many days after the waters started to subside, many people were still without power or access to water. There have been over 461 confirmed fatalities, and 63 additional persons have been reported missing. Many of these deaths were caused by mudslides and flooded rivers. Number 4. Afghanistan earthquake. The catastrophic earthquake that struck Afghanistan on June 2022 left more than 6,000 people injured and more than 1,000 dead. On June 22, 2022, a powerful earthquake with a magnitude of 6.1 shook Afghanistan's southeast, wreaking havoc in the regions of Khost and Paktika. According to reports, the earthquake was the worst to happen in the previous 20 years. A low-income area, the southeast of Afghanistan has faced a number of difficulties during the past 10 years. The region has seen frequent earthquakes and other natural calamities as a result of its geographical terrain. In addition, the majority of the area's citizens lack basic literacy skills, live in poverty, and have limited access to medical care. Particularly noteworthy is the region's significant lack of access to healthcare. Hospitals are struggling to find enough staff, beds, and other medical supplies. Number 3. Pakistan floods. More than 1,000 people are killed, including children, as millions of people are displaced and more than 1 million homes are damaged across several districts in Pakistan as a result of the devastation caused by the floods. Over 500,000 people are thought to be staying in relief camps across the nation, with an estimated impact of over 33 million people at that time. Thousands of miles of roads and bridges are also devastated, as well as around 710,000 animal losses. Devastation caused by the floodwaters is akin to an earthquake. Number 2. Summer heatwave in Europe. More than 20,000 excess deaths were caused by summer heat waves in France, Germany, Spain, and Britain, according to a report. Climate scientists from the World Weather Attribution Organization concluded that in 2022, temperatures reached close to or above 40 degrees Celsius from Paris to London, adding that these high temperatures would have been virtually impossible with the absence of climate change. Unexpectedly, there is no established definition of a heat wave. According to the World Meteorological Organization, a heat wave is defined as statistically unusually hot temperatures persisting for a number of days and nights. However, nations modify this definition based on the effects on the local people. For instance, low wind speeds and high humidity enhance the effects of heat on people. In addition, elements including the number of extra deaths, nocturnal temperatures, and the length of the heat wave should be taken into account. Thus, despite the fact that a heat wave is a meteorological occurrence, human implications are crucial. Heat can cause heat stroke, which harms the brain kidneys, and other organs, and it can also cause other disorders including a heart attack or breathing difficulties. Heat stroke can be fatal. Number 1. Somalia drought. According to a recent analysis by the Somali government and the United Nations, droughts in Somalia may have killed 43,000 people in total last year. According to the report issued on Monday, under 5-year-old children may have accounted for half of the deaths caused by the drought. According to the paper, which gives retrospective estimates of mortality across Somalia from January to December 2022, the largest death rates are believed to have occurred in south-central Somalia, including the Bay, Bakool, and Banaadir regions. These areas are also the current epicenter of the drought. The WHO Somali representative, Dr. Mamana Rahman Malik, claims that the deaths in Somalia were brought on by a decrease in disease immunity brought on by the country's starvation. According to reports, the drought situation has not improved despite the fact that starvation has been averted. According to the assessment, from January to June of this year, 135 additional people could perish per day as a result of the hunger crisis, with the total number of fatalities predicted to range between 18,100 and 34,200. We can better predict and prepare for natural disasters thanks to our present knowledge and technology, which includes satellite monitoring for disaster management. Nevertheless, we are currently unable to prevent them from occurring or greatly lessen their impact. This knowledge forces us to implement longer-term plans that are more sustainable, like the use of renewable energy, less resource-intensive farming practices, and sustainable forestry management. All of these things will work to mitigate the effects of climate change, decrease the likelihood of natural disasters, and reduce the losses caused by disasters for future generations. Meanwhile, that ends today's episode. What do you think of this episode? Please subscribe to Weather Collapse if you want to know more and be updated on the latest news about natural calamities or disasters happening all over the world. And don't forget to like today's video. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.